Peace, love, and light. One love. I want to give a credit to the Supernaturalist channel, okay? Because I want y'all to hear something. I've been trying to find for the last couple days testimonials of people caught up into storms that were saying how they encountered angelic type beings that they called the butterfly people, okay? Hundreds and hundreds of accounts from regular people that were caught into the storm and medical professionals, nurses and doctors that said they saw these butterfly people, men, giant men with wings, women, giant women with wings, okay? Just listen to this right fast, and then I'm going to take you to some screenshots.
An F5 tornado is one of the strongest and most catastrophic natural disasters that can occur. Winds can reach hundreds of miles an hour. Storms can stretch for miles. Its path of destruction is absolute. Buildings vaporize. Trees are uprooted. Vehicles are swept up and carried miles into the sky before being thrust back down to the ground. An F5 tornado has been referred to as the finger of God. Survival is no guarantee.
Now remember that, folks. It's been compared to the finger of God.
Survival is a miracle. But for the people of Joplin, Missouri, survival wasn't left to fate or chance. Luck had nothing to do with it. What happened in Joplin was nothing short of a miracle. That day, the town witnessed divine intervention. On Sunday, May 22nd, 2011, an F5 tornado ravaged the town of Joplin. 158 people lost their lives. 1,150 people were injured, and their town was in ruin. Whole neighborhoods were gone. Houses, departments.
Now, I'm going to fast forward, okay?
Began to spread like wildfire. Stories of winged beings saving people from certain death. Scores of townspeople stood in shock, having just beaten certain death, finding themselves in situations where their death was imminent, but somehow they beat all the odds and came out of the disaster almost unharmed. Children all over Joplin were talking about the butterfly people. Beautiful humanoid creatures with butterfly wings that not only protected them, but also ushered those that didn't survive up into the sky.
Okay, now you heard that. The butterfly people helped those who survived, and the ones that didn't, it ushered them up into the sky. Okay? Now, I'm going to go to some screenshots because I put up a video of how the twisters and the tornadoes are living. They're alive on my channel. I'll go to it right fast to show you.
The story spread to hospitals, shelters.
Hundreds of people telling you the same story about how they saw creatures, beings, saving the day. And ones that didn't make it, helped. Okay, living storms and natural disasters. Of course, this is going to be part 2. Now, you heard from testimonials and accounts that these beings save people from disaster, that people called the tornadoes the finger of God. Like, I mean, like, you got to understand that. I showed on that video tons of people that were scooped up into the twister. Entities and beings that weren't human. Okay? Giant formations and ships. That's not natural to the sky. Understand this, bro. People. Queens. Kings. It's like the finger of God, right? Just look at that picture. Let it resonate. Okay? To the layperson, you're just, oh, this is a twister and is impacting the ground. But understand something, folks. When we talk about entities and beings that are doing a job, the finger of God, you see this face? You see this shoulder and arm? Body. I'll zoom in on the head so there could be no doubt. See this? See that face? See the faces that are in it? The face that's on top of the head? This almost looks like the helmet from the 300. The fezzed helmet. I'll zoom in super tight. And of course, pull down the contrast. The finger of God. Yes, this stuff is intentionally done. And there's angels out that help people into the death realm and keep people that's supposed to be living here. Just look at the anatomy of this. Giant head with the helmet. The big body, and then, of course, we'll say just a twister. But look how that extends down. Let's just hold that in super tight and then play with the light. Living, intelligent, okay? Creature. Right there. Leaning over, looking down, and impacting the ground with the finger of God. You see it? And guess what he's riding on? The back of a giant whale, like I mentioned in part 1. Couldn't make it up. Supernatural. You can see the eye of the whale right here. I'll zoom in. Seeing is believing. You see the eye of the giant beast, the whale. The whale's eye. Now let's zoom out for perspective and let that resonate. See his body? Dorsal fin, like I mentioned in part 1. Mouth, upper part of the head, and eye. And the beast leaning over on his back. And what people will call a twister or a tornado. Yeah, we call it that. But understand something. It's the finger of God. It's an intelligent thing that's doing this. Okay? Understand that. It's not just because of bad weather and you know, high pressure and cold air mixing and all that. No. It's beyond that. That's just what they tell us. Look at the other crafts that's up there. Okay? Now we're going to move on to some other screenshots. That's the same one, just without contrast. And we're going to go back and forth so it can resonate. Look at that giant head with the helmet. I got to zoom in on the helmet just to show you, like, that's a literal helmet. Can you get past that face? Yeah. Next shot. Different being, or maybe the same creature with a facial switch. Look at that face. Here's the eye. Gigantic beast. Let's zoom out, and then I'm gonna hit the light. And then zoom in on the face. And then you see entities and beings right outside of it. I'll zoom in tighter. You see the anatomical features, arms, bodies, heads. You see them? I mean, you almost can clearly see this guy's face right here. See his beard. See his eyes. See his head. Another entity right here. Arm out, body. Unknown right here. Strange looking head, body. And let's Zoom out on the giant creature. You see the organic moves that's going on, that's spewing out of it? Let's put some light right there. Let's zoom right here. What is this? Seeing that, folks? You think that's just part of some twister or some storm? Or do you see elongated arms, something wearing a blue top or shirt that has something blue on his head? I see hair and a brown face. Right here. Looks like a person sitting down with a blue shirt on, a blue long sleeve. Zoom out. Take the light back to normal. Let it focus in. And just take a look at that, folks. Look at the bend and how that's moving right here. Look at that. Let's zoom in on the actual funnel. And remember, on part 1, I showed you how these funnels look like insects, proboscis with spikes. You see that, folks? That's up and close. You see that? You see how that's organic? It almost looked like some type of living creature. Let's pull the light down, because I really want that to translate to you. You see this, folks? The spikes and ridges. We've been deceived. We got to wake up, folks. And you'll see some of the entities that are up there monitoring what's going on, because it's supernatural, folks. Go to the Supernaturalist channel and watch that video, the full video. They'll tell you it's angels and entities that are controlling things around here, pulling people up that die and keeping one safe that's supposed to live when it's not their time. You see that being right there. You can't use cognitive dissonance and say you don't see it. And look, when I pull out, you still can see his face. How could anything be living in 200 to 300 mile an hour winds with a funnel coming out of the sky, and you got a person or entity sitting right there? I understand that, folks. And like before, we got one with the contrast and one without. Okay, let that focus in. And you see the beast. I'll point to his eye again. Different face. All types of shapes. It's a small pyramid craft right there. Unbelievable stuff, folks. Stuff is alive. Okay, now we have another facial shapeshift. Showed this in part 1, how this giant creature's face right here, just like the last shot we showed, not much of a change, but it has other faces sticking out of it. It looks like creepy crawly hands. Let's zoom in. You see mouth, crazy looking, look like claw or hand sticking out. You see eye. This is some strange being right here. And this one is also. And you see them off to the side. They're everywhere. This stuff is alive, folks. Alive. I'm going to zoom out and show you the face again of the massive beast that's hanging off the side of a giant whale. Yes, I know that sounds crazy, but this is a living entity that's you think create tornadoes and twisters. That's what it is. It's not cloud formations and bad weather. The meteorologist would tell you that to prepare you for judgments at given times. This is what it is. The finger of God. Now we're going to zoom in on the face again. Okay, you see that hideous, crazy looking face right here. It looks like it's wearing an armored helmet with a split down the middle, and you see his eye right here. I'm going to zoom in on the eye so there could be no doubt. And you can see it has a green tint, and you see the slit going down it right here. Here's the actual shape of the eye, and here's the cavity of the eye. Now let's play down the light for the naysayers. And then when I zoom out, it'll come into really good perspective for you. That's where we were right here, the eye of the creature. Bringing the light back up. Let it focus in. I mean, come on. That looks like the face of Optimus Prime. This thing's wearing looks like a metallic helmet and face shield. I'm telling you, folks, I know that sounds crazy, but this is what it is. And I'm going to show you more entities that are right under what to us would be certain death. You understand? A twister coming out the sky, 100-mile-an-hour winds that sucks everything up and grinds the ground. Look at these beings. Like this guy's touching a funnel. Look, they're all over. Pull down the light so you can see the faces, that we're not making it up. This looks like a gnome. He has a pointed hat on. I'll zoom in on his face. Matter of fact, let's pull that in so we don't get the pixelation and the blur. You see him right here. He has a pointed hat. You see his face, furry little beard. Standing next to a little entity right here. You see the face manifestation right there. More right there. Right there. Gray looking being right there. Let's zoom in a little bit. Okay. Pull down the light. See him? He's on all fours. Here's his leg. His body is extended right here like an animal or a dog. He has a giant head. Here's his mouth. His mouth is open like he's yelling or growling. Here's his eye. He has marks on his forehead. And here's his ear. And I'll just hold that in so you can see. This is right up near the funnel, folks. You can almost see you can see the split down his eye too. Right there. Here's his eye. Yeah. And that's right next to the funnel, folks. This is where we just were. Let's zoom out. See him up here? No need to continue. You can always rewind, screenshot for yourself to see. It's not a fluke. It's real. Yeah, if I own YouTube, I want this information shut down too if I was a scumbag and didn't want people to wake up. No doubt about it. I'm trying to let this focus in. Okay. There we go. And you can see the giant sea beast. And the thing is on his back. And this is where we were. Moving on. Same shot. I'm just going to pull that back and forth. So you can see it's not a fluke. One with contrast, one that's just regular natural. Yeah, folks. Unbelievable stuff. But I'm going to leave you with this face right here. Show you. This stuff is real, folks. People think it's a game. I got more shots, and I'm gonna create a video. I got some pictures that people took on boats when storms came through, and I'm gonna show you the finger of God again. Giant, massive creatures and vessels. Peace, love, and light.